It's Caner Tip Tuesday, and today, staying safe with your cane. Hit and don't get hit. Isn't that the name of the game? Before we do that, a warm welcome to all, especially those who are here for the first time. Do this first. Yeah. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon, and avail yourself of the two free resources. The first one is the no-cost cane clarity call in less than 24 hours. Text the letter CCC to 305-745-7839. In less than 24 hours, we'll be on a call with you, answering all your questions, and especially how to get cane trained, because canes are cool, but the real equalizer is your training. That's what's going to determine what you can and cannot do, especially under the duress of the moment. And then the other thing is, we have a Facebook group that is open to the general public. It's called Cane Flow. Read the description below. Request entry. They will let you right in. So there's certain things that ACSD, for instance, you hear Cameron say, well, ACSD doesn't really teach blocks and things like that. So, it's very heavy on the footwork. But let's bring some clarity to what that really means, because it's not just the footwork. There's two things we're going to focus on, and one is understanding the guard zone, exactly what that means, tied in also with the half body concept. And yeah, there's some footwork involved there, but I want you to take a look at this, because this is something that's come up in our group, especially now with the empty hand training and everything that they're having their eyes open to and how that works. And I want to show you. You hear things like ACSD doesn't really use blocks. It almost makes it seem like it's 100% just we don't use the cane to move. This is what they're referring to, right? It's the way. If a shot is coming in, this that you see out there, which this seems like a solid block, and it is solid, and it'll stop this. But if you're looking at that and you have two hands, say, what's wrong with that? Well, what is exposed here? You see what's coming in. If you go back to the origins and why I put this over, what the main concern was from the onset, it was always to deal against blade, knife attack, and multiple assailant. And boy, I just don't like being open out here. Same thing, doesn't matter if it comes to the other side. You may also see the two hands, coming out here. They're solid. I'm not saying they're not solid. Just there's another way, and to me, a better way, especially when you have that kind of concern. So let me show you. The concept is this. You put in an imaginary rectangle or square, if you will, around here, and you're protecting this area here, these corners, your midline. This works front and back. You've heard me say it many times before. How do I handle an attack from the rear? Listen, if she's coming to hit me and I didn't pick up on the shadow, I didn't hear her, if she's away from my 10 and 2, you're going to get hit. I don't have a way to handle that. So, and we have a whole training, including kinesthetic training, on how to deal with attacks from the rear. But I want you to take a look here at the alternative. So that means that when she comes here, whether she has the tool or she's coming with a punch, empty hand, it has to go through here. And I'm not going to meet that out there. I'm just not going to do that. Because it can leave me open. And so instead, there's another way to knock that down. And that's, you see already that we went from presenting a broad target to something much smaller here that's aligned with the center, and it comes out, and it just comes out to here. Now, I want those of you, especially in the empty hand, you see this here, right? If it comes from the other side, it's the same thing. And we have this organized into a template. But notice your hands, what the hands are doing. Like with this in particular, notice the elbow's not out, because I'm not going to pretend, I'm not going to present something bigger, so that if it were to slide off and that's really down, I get cut, I get hit, so on and so forth. The same thing happens when something is coming over. Instead of doing something like this, you're going to find it more along the lines of that kind of movement, or this kind of movement that comes in here off of a Serbs on an incline, but we're just not there. There's a variety of ways of dealing with that, but the bottom line is that it is going to require footwork, but what you're doing with that cane, the intention is not to stop it in its tracks. Matter of fact, we use a formula I'll mention it briefly, not going to get real heavy because we can just do a whole segment on that. But it's deflect to connect to control, and this is part of it, right? Meaning the minute we connect, now I can actually do something about it. And don't get me wrong, it's a distance game. What I'm showing is when I absolutely have no other choice but to stand in there, right, and do something about it. The same thing happens with the empty hand. Did you see, again, everything, how it moves from here and there? I'm just going to show some forms, some hand formations that we really emphasize in the empty hand, and they don't mean much to you if you're not, but you'll see that these movements that are out there and the snap and how it resembles going from here to here. And I had a wonderful question in the... and it happens the same way, by the way. The shots that are coming here, remove this. The shots that are coming in here, we don't really go out and stop them there for the same reason. But they're going to get stopped right in here, and you see the cover so that I can actually do something about it. A lot of times that will turn into, that kind of movement with the arm, that triangling, as we call it. Same thing that we do overhead pop, right? So that we can come in here. But how do you handle this, for instance, when you have an individual that's taller? And we like to stay close in, especially with the empty hand. You no longer have the reach with the cane. And by the way, somebody asked, right, who's not ACSD and maybe just exploring and learning more, hey, isn't the whole purpose of the cane to not have to use your empty hand? That would be outstanding, as it is for any self-protection tool. But if who you are in the self-protection situation is tied into the tool, that's called over-reliance on that tool, and that's just plain downright dangerous, right? Individuals that get paid to stop threats understand that. That's why they seek other training, right? Because there's an over-reliance on the tool. You see me doing this in a mass, riding. Once they take control of the tool, they take control of the shield. You're not going to be effective with this for everybody. They will overtake you. And that's just an example. For those of you that have an interest, those of us that have the interest in self-protection, you need an empty hand skill set, and that's why. But let me show you how I handle that. And one of the things to look at, just set it there, come on over. And I demoed this. I'm going to bring the camera down here so you guys can see. In this case, she's taller than I am right here. No, I'm just standing right here. And she boom, she's punching from up down. But I'm not going to reach out to strike her out here because the principles are the same. So how do I handle this? I'm telling you that this would have to, now did you see with the foot? I'm going to stop it here, and everything I do, I'm going to work right in here. I'm going real slow with this. If you're paying attention, you just notice that, hey, there's a raking to the eyes, there's no punching to the stomach, there's no anything. There's just what I have to do, buckling of that knee to stop it here and whatnot. But notice am I going to necessarily do? No. I'll borrow here from something that we share in Sobrevivencia, and that is the concept of bringing that target to you and to work right within here, so that if I do this, now her head is down here and now I can go ahead. This is very different now, right? I know where her hands are, they're trapped, move your hands from there. Now I can get to work in here, but notice what I just did. I kept it all here. And the importance of this will make sense to those of you that you're in the Empty Hand Translation course, and how ACSD originally, from the onset, designed so that whatever you do in here with this cane, right, principles, that shoulder coming to the back, not presenting here, but presenting out here, that half body concept tied into, combined with a solid and workable functional knowledge of maintaining everything in the guard zone. Yeah, that's going to allow you to stay safe, to hit and not get hit. So a quick update for those of you who are in Cane Self-Defense University. We've confirmed that August 15th, that's the CSDU a monthly session on Zoom. We are going to have Maestro Ruiz on there once again. So he's back for more, and we know that's a very popular topic coming in September. So this month of August, and to promote that again, I'll cover some of the Sobrevivencia, share important things that you've requested. And so if you have any general questions, that's a good one to attend. If you don't all know how that works, just do this before you do anything, before you invest in any course, before you do anything else. Go ahead and take advantage of that no cost Cane Clarity Call by texting the letter CCC to 305-745-7839. You schedule it so that we actually set aside some time for you. Listen to where you are, whether you're a brand new beginner, you're just learning of this. I didn't know this was going on for as long as that, and boy, it's a thing that's been going on really for decades now. Or you're even experienced, or you're an instructor and you want to learn how to better serve that audience. Go ahead. That's what we're here for. I'm Joe Rubino for American Cane Self-Defense. Thanks for watching. Keep caning. Stay safe.